Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. The Ramazan moon has been sighted across Pakistan, Bangladesh and India, and the first fast will be observed on Thursday. The Central Ru'yat-e-Hilal Committee, chaired by Maulana Abdul Kabir Azad, confirmed the sighting after receiving reports from multiple cities. Authorities, including the Meteorological Department and SUPARCO, assisted in the process. Meanwhile, Muslims in India and Bangladesh will also begin observing Ramazan on Thursday, after authorities confirmed the sighting of the crescent moon. Peace talks between Ukraine and Russia in Geneva have ended abruptly after just 2 hours of discussions. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the negotiations as difficult and accused Moscow of deliberately stalling efforts to reach a deal aimed at ending the 4-year-old war. The US-mediated talks in Switzerland come as President Donald Trump has recently suggested that Kiev must take further steps to help ensure the success of the negotiations. Meanwhile, Russia's chief negotiator, Vladimir Medinsky, says US-mediated talks with Ukraine in Geneva were difficult but businesslike. He said a new round of talks would take place soon as efforts continue to broker a peace deal. Ukraine has reduced electricity imports by 3% to around 311 gigawatt-hours last week as milder weather eased pressure on the energy system. According to analyst group Dixie Group, this marks the first weekly decline in import volumes in the past 5 weeks, while electricity exports have remained at zero for 3 consecutive months. The development follows record cold conditions in early February, when temperatures in some regions plunged to -30 degrees Celsius, coinciding with Russian strikes that damaged significant parts of the country's energy infrastructure. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has reiterated that his country is not seeking nuclear weapons and is ready for any form of verification. In a televised address, he said Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's religious decree bans such arms and hoped Washington recognizes that fact. But Pezeshkian stressed Iran will not accept limits on using science and nuclear technology for medicine, industry, and agriculture. His statement comes as indirect talks began in Geneva, with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi saying that both sides had agreed on guiding principles. Meanwhile, satellite images show Iran has reinforced and concealed facilities at several sensitive military and nuclear sites following last year's strikes. At the Parchin military complex near Tehran, analysts say a new structure has been covered with concrete and soil, obscuring it from aerial view. At the Isfahan nuclear complex, tunnel entrances appear to have been buried, while entrances near Natanz nuclear facility have been fortified as tensions between Tehran, Washington, and Israel continue. On the other hand, a Russian Navy corvette, the Stoiky, has arrived at Iran's port of Bandar Abbas. Moscow said Russian and Iranian naval forces coordinated to ensure the safety of civilian shipping. The visit comes ahead of joint naval drills in the Sea of Oman and the northern Indian Ocean later this week. Sanae Takaichi has been formally reappointed as Japan's Prime Minister by Emperor Naruhito, 10 days after her party's landslide election win. Takaichi secured 354 votes in the House of Representatives, as her Liberal Democratic Party and coalition partners maintain a strong lower house majority. All cabinet ministers were reappointed, including Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi and Finance Minister Satsuki Katayama. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet says Thailand is still occupying Cambodian territory, despite a ceasefire brokered by former US President Donald Trump. In an interview with Reuters, Hun Manet alleged that Thai forces remain inside disputed areas following last year's fighting, and urged Bangkok to allow a joint boundary commission to begin work along the contested border. The Cambodian premier also highlighted improving ties with Washington and said his government is taking action against cyber scam centres operating inside the country. The Vatican says it will not participate in US President Donald Trump's proposed Board of Peace initiative. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Holy See's top diplomat, said international crisis management should be handled through the United Nations rather than new political platforms. Pope Leo, the first US-born pontiff and a critic of some of Trump's policies, had been invited to join the initiative in January. At least 12 people have reportedly been killed after a firecracker store exploded in China's Hubei province. The blast happened at a retailer in the city of Shenyang, burning around 50 square meters of the premises. Eyewitness videos showed heavy smoke rising from the building, while authorities say the cause of the explosion is under investigation. Reverend Jesse Jackson, a towering figure in the American civil rights movement, has died at age 84. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by family, leaving a legacy of activism spanning over 6 decades. Born in 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, Jackson rose to prominence in the 1960s as a leader in Martin Luther King Jr.'s Southern Christian Leadership Conference and was present at King's assassination in 1968. Jackson twice ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984 and 1988, breaking racial barriers and amplifying the voices of marginalized communities. He founded the Rainbow Push Coalition to promote social justice, civil rights, and economic equality. Leaders worldwide mourned Jackson. Former President Barack Obama called him a true giant, while President Donald Trump described him as a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. The United States has disclosed evidence suggesting China may have carried out an underground nuclear test on June 22, 2020. Seismic readings from a station in Kazakhstan indicated an explosion of magnitude 2.75 near China's Lopnor test site. Assistant Secretary of State Christopher Yeo said the data were very unlikely to be from an earthquake or mining activity and suggested China may have attempted to mask the blast using a decoupling technique. China denied the claims, calling them entirely unfounded and politically motivated. The disclosure comes amid US efforts to involve China in new arms control negotiations following the lapse of the New START treaty. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.